Kazuki, it's okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, and ladies and gentlemen. Today we are debating the resolution, college education should be free. I, on the affirmative side, strongly support this. There are three reasons. Burden of fee, fundamental right of individuals, and stimulating economy. The first reason is burden of fee. If college education isn't free, college costs lead to greater student debt. According to Ken Thomas, who is an economist and professor of education at the Harvard University, now college costs are rapidly increasing over 1980s and 90s. College costs rose faster, costs are rapidly increasing, and faster than median income and faster than financial aid. If high school students can't enter university because of their financial aid, financial program, they can pursue what they want to learn at the university, and they are going to lose career opportunities of university education. The second reason is the fundamental right of individuals. Each one has a right to experience university and gain knowledge it offers. According to the People's Movement for Human Rights Learning, education is a human right and an essential tool for achieving the goal of equality, development, and peace, advancing the goal of equal access to education. It is not fair to allow only rich people to go to college. Everyone should be educated at college equally. The third reason is stimulating economy. If college education is free, many university students can make economy better than before because they can be educated well and accumulate knowledge they didn't learn in high school days. According to Adolf Reeds, he's a University of Pennsylvania political science professor and organizer. It puts money into play and creates jobs by expanding the number of people who will go to college. The students who are educated at college have creativity, which leads the economy toward a positive direction. Now I will support. Please support my points. Thank you.
are debating the resolution. The college tuition should be free. I, on the negative side, strongly oppose this resolution. First, I will refute our opponent's main point, then I will give my own. His first point was burden of fee. He said that college tuition is too expensive, but it's not relevant. Usually, university students get receive scholarship or get a part-time job. His second point was fundamental right individual. He said that college tuition is a human right, but it's not true. Some people don't want to go college or university. It depends on person. His third point was stimulate economy. He said the economy is better than in the past, but it's not true. Government can't afford college tuition, so economy is getting worse. I have refuted the opponent point. Now I will give my own. I have three reasons: tax, priority, and local responsibility. My first point is tax. Actually, many people have to pay tax more than in the past. It means many people will share college tuition. Even people who don't want to go college have to pay education tax. According to Daniel Harrison, giving up free college or education will lead to more government interference in people's lives. We should cut taxes for all Americans and let payers decide what to do with their money. My second point is priority. College tuition is not important issue now. We have to care about criminal problem or healthcare problem. Other big issues are more important than college tuition. Furthermore, college tuition is too much, so we can't afford that. According to the Ben Ginn, making college or education free would cost too much. Other needs should come first, such as providing health care to all Americans and improving public schools. My third point is local responsibility. In America, education has traditionally been a local responsibility. Each community provides the best schools it can afford. According to the Peter J. Lally, to set up a federal government program to pay for college education would threaten local control of education. We have to guarantee local responsibility for locals' motivation. I have shown that tax, priority, and local responsibility. So college tuition should not be free.
Time.
Now, I will refute my opponent's point and support my own point. His first point is tax. He said they have to pay tax more than in the past. But however, it's not significant because government can support the paying tax for the student, and if university education is free, high school student can go to the university without any problem. So that's why it's not important. His second point is priority. He said the criminal should be rejected rather than allow university free. But it's not significant because if education level rises, the student can use their knowledge more cleverly, so they can solve the criminal more easily. His third point was local responsibility. He says they provide, it can afford federal for the federal government, but it's not true because the gap between rich and poor people is becoming bigger and bigger. So first, we should have to allow the high school student to go to university.
Time.
Now, I will support my point. My first point was burden of fees. He said he can get scholarship to support their tuition, but it's not true because high school student and university student have to pay back scholarship in the future, so that's not important. And his second point is fundamental. My second point is fundamental right of individuals. He said some students don't need to go to college, but it's not true because fundamental right is what people have when they are born. So yeah, they can go to college. They can go to college. If they can go to college without fee, they can accumulate knowledge and they can use their knowledge more wisely. And my third point is stimulating the economy. He said government can afford to pay tuition, can support paying tuition, but it's not important. However, it's not important because students who go to college without tuition can use their knowledge. As I said, they can use it more wisely, and in the future, if they go to the big company or big companies or something, they can create more new invention. So that's why it's not important. Now I have shown my points by raising 3 points: burden fee, fundamental right of individuals, and stimulating economy. Please support my point.
Two minutes and 38 seconds.
Thank you.
Time.
I will now support my own points. My first point was tax. It said that government can afford college tuition, but it's not true. College tuition is too much. They can afford the tuition, and this tuition cost will affect the economy. My second point was priority. It said that student level raised more in the past, but it's not important. We have to care other important things, such as healthcare or criminal problems. It's more important than college tuition. My third point was local responsibility. He said that poor and rich people has a big gap. It's not relevant. Because of a big gap, we have local have to help their citizens. They can afford each level for their citizens. It's more helpful to local citizens. I have shown that tax, priority, and local responsibility. So college tuition should be not free.